and welcome back to the next episode, episode 3 of our series here, The Empire of Space Japan in Aurora version 2.1. Before we get into the video, I do want to say please remember to like, comment and subscribe and consider becoming a member, as that's the best way to support me and keep the channel going and keep me making content on a consistent basis. Alright, so where were we in the last episode? Well, we had begun exploring outside of our solar system. If we bring up our galactic map here, we can take a look at that. We'd stabilize the jump points from Alpha to Proxima to Zitomir and Nerox. And thanks to your guys' names, we actually do have some better system names than system number 1351 or whatever the hell it was called. We had finally managed to establish ourselves our first extrasolar colony, specifically on Alpha 1, the Japanese our colony here on Alpha 1 that is primarily holding a force of ground forces and also a fighter base with the purpose of ensuring that we are safe against any raiders that do come our way. And we can go have a look at that right now. Alpha Base, which is stationed above the planet of Alpha 1, has a Condor class fighter base, and it has a total of 18 F2 fighters and one single Observer 1 OBS. The purpose of which is obviously to defend the area. We're currently in the process of surveying if we lose out of the galaxy map and we head over to the Nerox system. We're in the process of stabilizing the system, but also going to be in the process of surveying the system. As well as that, we are also doing the same in Proxima as we begin to explore the other side of the galaxy. Now, for raiders to spawn, if we have a look over at the galactic map once more, we need to discover 5 more systems. So for now, we are safe. So we're really focusing on entrenching ourselves, preparing ourselves like we did last episode, for the eventual attacks of enemy forces. And who knows, we may even find aliens much quicker than we already have. So let's continue on with the game. We're going to continue on surveying. There's not much else that I want to change in terms of our industry or anything like that. I do want to be thinking about actually moving some stuff over to, obviously, Arrakis. We're moving over various things. We're going to need infrastructure and also renaming this population. Now, I did receive some names and I'm going to go with some names from some of the comment section. So let's go with that then. We have a name from our friend Luis Neto, one of the members over on the YouTube, and his suggestion is Actum or Karim. We're going to name this planet or colony, specifically not the planet. We're going to name the colony Karim colony, and we're going to name the planet in question. So we'll head over to Alpha. We will rename the planet itself to Karim. And that will be the Karim colony and military base located there. And in fact, what I'll actually do is I'm going to rename this population to be military outpost, because that's its primary purpose. There's not really any other purpose there. And I do want to obviously get some fuel supplies moved over at some point. But for now, let's actually start incrementing along here. Alright, we just finished construction of a commercial shipyard. That's lovely to see. We're going to keep that where that is for now. We're increasing capacities. I'm going to increase the capacity to this to 14,000 tons as well. We are using a lot of minerals right now, and we're depleting our uranium stockpile pretty significantly. And we've got to be very careful of that. Our mining amount, we have 370 manned mines. We're going to have to be very careful about that uranium stockpile, about that uranium supply, and look at alternative sources to keep fueling that. Callisto nearly has 10 million people, and so we can start colonizing some of the other Jovian moons. We do have, obviously, other bodies here, and I believe if we head over into Nerox, we have a 40 million tons of uranium on Nerox 2, which can be mined with automated mines, obviously. And that's a significant value to us if we can seize that. All right, we're going to continue our surveying of this system. We're looking for gravitational surveys. We completed construction of F2s, and that's for the new Condor class stations. How much infrastructure have we managed to complete over on Earth? 485. So what we're going to do then is we're going to grab our infrastructure fleet, then begin to load up infrastructure. So we load up approximately 10 infrastructure per. And we're going to then move that over to Zitomir. We're going to move that over to Arrakis, and we're going to begin colonization of Arrakis accordingly. We'll repeat this. So we have 400 infrastructure, so we'll repeat this 9 times total. And we'll turn off cycle move orders as well. And we'll get the infrastructure moved over to the planet as needed. O1 production just complete, which is good to see. And we just finished up construction of Condor class fighter bases, which does obviously free up some more construction for us. I'm going to order 100 more mines to be constructed, and I'm also going to order up another 100 automated mines to be constructed, because they're going to be needed for, obviously, Venusian colonizations. The Great White just completed her overhaul, which is good to know. We're going to send you over to Nerox to continue surveying in that direction while we survey in Proxima. Fuel Transport Group has completed orders. I believe that was the initial transport of fuel. Yep, I do believe so indeed. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up an order delay system every 2 years. We're going to move fuel back and forth from Earth to Arrakis, so transfer fuel to colony, and then head back to Sol and refuel. And we're going to cycle those orders so that we always have a fuel transport to Arrakis, providing that fuel capability, and that's what we have right now. So we can now refuel from Arrakis, so any of our survey ships that head in that direction will be able to get fuel, which is very nice. The Halibut has just discovered a jump point right next to it, so we'll actually send that guy right through, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. So let's begin standard transit through that jump point, please. Okay, discover system of 259. Let's look at the system before we name it. Okay, so we are in a binary star system, G1 and G6 type star, 4 and 5 respectively. We have quite a bright star and not a very bright star. In the first star, we have a terrestrial world, and then size of about Mercury, and then we have a dwarf planet. On the second star, we have a terrestrial world about the size, a little bit smaller than Earth, but can hold about 7 billion people. Nitrogen ammonium atmosphere, and then we have a 2 gas giants, a Venusian world, 2 gas giants, and a bunch of different moons accordingly. Let us name the system then. Let me grab up my little list here. Let's name this system. I'm liking the name. We'll name the system Meridian. I like that name. So Meridian will be the name of the system. And we'll obviously begin surveying the system as needed. Repairs carried out, retirements there, and our ship. We're quite a large system. We're going to be moving quite a distance to survey. Obviously, and let's head back over to Proxima. Let's see, are there going to be any other jump points actually located here? There might not be. May supply insufficient minerals on Cream Outpost. That is unfortunate. We don't have any actual maintenance supplies available. So we will just halt on that for now. We may need to increase the actual supply that's being sent over. Right, our vessels are returning to resupply. Stockpile is now replenished, however, so we can actually resume our maintenance supply production. And we've started to move infrastructure over, which should now mean that colonial ships from... if we go over to Alpha, we should start to see colony ships move over colonists from Sol, though they haven't done so yet, to Arrakis. And in regards to that, we do now have a cargo short station and a refueling station. We can also, that someone mentioned, take the refueling station off of Earth as needed and move that over to a planet wherever we want that planet to be. Yeah, the colonists should hopefully be on the way there. We did just finish up stabilization into Nerox. So Nerox has a this planet, which we can begin mining on. 1.7 billion people can potentially live on that world. So let's create a colony. We will move over infrastructure eventually here once we have the shipping available. I might draft up these guys when they get back. Let me have a back look at Meridian. What do we have in here? We have various resources we've found. Boronide on one of the worlds. We've got 2 Lagrange points here, which is interesting. And we are looking at survey sites. We don't have any significant survey sites, unfortunately. It has completed orders. So we're going to have them begin moving infrastructure. We'll move 600 infrastructure over to Nerox 1. So that should be enough for... Let me have a look at the planet itself. So Nerox 1, we will... Actually, have some colonists over on Arrakis now, which is fantastic. So we've colonized that. We're going to get a... Once we get enough workers, we'll put a fighter base over Arrakis. So let's have a look at Nerox 1. So maximum colony cost 4.25. So that means that we're going to need 426 infrastructure per million people. So we will move over approximately 7 times. I think that should be good. Yeah, seven times should be enough infrastructure because we move 60 at a time if I'm doing my math correctly. So you're going to need to head back, obviously, to Sol, and then begin a refueling operation, and then repeat that 7 times. Let's have a look at Earth's maintenance supplies. That's good. Your maintenance supplies are also good, though we are actually going over our population somewhat here because of our minimum and our maximum. I think our civilians are ignoring it, and I think that's a bug potentially. We'll need some low gravity infrastructure is all I know. We don't have any low gravity infrastructure actually available to us. So I'm going to cancel this research lab, and we're actually going to just begin construction on 400 low gravity infrastructure to be built, and then we'll have that sent over accordingly. I'm going to probably military restrict that colony as needed. What's happening right now? Nothing too important. We are beginning our we're continuing our survey in this system and see what we can find, obviously. Okay, what kind of mineral situation do we have over here then? Pretty bare bones, to be honest. Nothing too valuable. Ahab 009 constructed. If I go to Shipyard Fleet 2, yeah, that's 1 fuel harvester moved over. I'm actually going to move those fuel harvesters over to the second system where Alpha is. And yeah, we should have that infrastructure now starting to move over, which is good. We're going to do auto assignment for this colony. So let's rename these colonies accordingly. Let's bring up my name list once more. So we're going to go for the colony, rename population. We're going to go for the colony of Luthien. That'll be the Luthien colony, and we'll go for just the city of Luthien. Yeah, the city of Luthien, colony of Luthien, and then we have Kareem, Arrakis, and Neros, and then Alpha is the Kareem military outpost as required. It's nice having these names. It personalizes it a little bit more. How is our movement of people over to Arrakis? We have 112,000 people, 120,000 people, I mean, available as workers. We just need to get that population up a little bit more, obviously, before we can actually send over the maintenance facilities needed. Speaking of, we should start building up a new supply vessel. So we're going to make a supply transport. And we will put this guy with 2 engines. So 2 commercial gas core engines. We will then fill it with maintenance storage bays. So we will have you transport 10,000 MSP per. We'll be capable of transporting that much MSP. We will add on cargo shuttle bays. We will add on 4 cargo shuttle bays. We will then add in enough. We'll add in another large fuel. That's plenty. We don't really even need that engine. A single engine will probably do us fine. We don't need to be that big. We don't need to be much of anything, really. We will add on a thermal sensor and an EM sensor. I always like to do this with my commercial vessels to just ensure that they can see everything they need to see. We will just then round this up to 220 like that. So this is the Hyuga supply ship. And I will then assign this to our 10,000 ton shipyard, and we'll begin construction of the Hyuga supply ship. Before I do that, actually, we do need to make that a supply ship itself. And then we'll do minimum supplies. We'll do 1 as its minimum supplies, and then we will begin the retooling efforts on our shipyard. So retooling, we've already retooled, obviously. So shipyard 1, let's begin construction of our Hyuga into service immediately. Alrighty then. We're continuing to survey. Minimal text, and everything seems fine. And that should hopefully get them enough maintenance capacity on their own. We can support a total population of 0.6 million people. Infrastructure per million, 200. Current infrastructure 121. We're growing a significant population right now on Arrakis, and we're going to keep building up Arrakis as our kind of our largest extrasolar colony, at least unless we find something else. Okay, the jellyfish just completed their overhaul. What is it looking like over in Nerox? Not Nerox. Yeah, Nerox, exactly. We still need to survey a lot of these jump points, so that is what I am going to do. So I'm going to send the jellyfish over to Nerox to continue that survey effort. Once we have the maintenance facilities in place over on Arrakis, so we'll go over back to Zitomir. Once we have those in place, we can then obviously begin moving those fighter fabbed fighters over as needed. A lot of stuff in here, don't we? Yeah, a lot of stuff in here. So we're going to detach the Hyuga. We're going to rename this to Supply Transport 1. Supply Transport 1. And we're going to have... So you got 10,000 MSP obviously loaded. So you are going to head over and you're going to unload onto Alpha 1. You're going to transfer... can we transfer 2,500 maintenance supplies? Minimum 2,500. No, but I want to transport not a ridiculous amount per thing, but I guess I'm just gonna have to. Okay, well, let's start with Arrakis first. So we'll go over to Zitomir. We're going to transfer maintenance supplies to the colony. We'll then head... I don't want to do minimum. I would like to not do all of those maintenance supplies. Transfer maintenance supplies. And then we will head back to Sol. We will do a resupply. Not resupply from own. We'll do a resupply from colony, as well as a refuel from colony. And then we will head to Alpha. We will transfer maintenance supplies to colony. And obviously they won't be able to move those maintenance supplies. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll just do that, then we'll transfer that over, and then I'll get a tug to move a fighter base over. So we'll need to prep a fighter base. So Condor 6 is looking okay. We can begin moving you. So we are going to detach you, which you already have all your fighters assigned to you. We're going to create a squadron. We're going to call this the 9th Fighter Squadron. We'll call this the Badgers. I do like just random animal names. And we will then detach all of these guys, or we'll detach all these F2s. We will then bring them over into the fighter squadron, and there you go. They're all now landed and very nicely sorted out. We will begin moving those over with our tug. So I'm going to grab the Aurora. We're going to go over to our system here. We're going to grab, let me have over to the Condor. We're going to tractor the Condor. We're going to bring that over to Zitomir. We're going to put that over onto Arrakis. At least that tracked the ship, and that'll take about a month. Probably more, actually, though. Let's stop our maintenance supply production for now, and let me also consider that we need to turn Callisto into a stable colony, and we're going to start directing infrastructure away into different areas. We also now have low-gravity infrastructure available, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our civilian industry, because currently our other freighters are tied up. We're going to move 500 low gravity infrastructure over to Kareem, because they're going to need that as their orbit changes a lot. So we'll add their demand for 500. And then we're also going to look at moving over some of the other infrastructure as needed. So you're busy, you're also busy. So we don't really have the fighters available. So I'm going to order up. I mean, what's our mining situation? Mining situation is not great. We need to get our usage down. So we're going to halt on our usages as much as we can here, really. Supplies moved in. There's our fighter base. The question is, where is the Hyuga? Do we have those supplies moved over yet? We do not. Where is my Hyuga? Logistics. Supply transport 1. Move you over to logistics. Supply transport 1. Where are you? You are quite a bit a ways. That is a problem because if the fighter base causes issues, the deployment time. Yeah, that is going to be a problem, but we can overhaul once there. They've got deployment time fine, so it's okay. Supply transport's coming in. There we go. Supply transport's done. So now Arrakis has 10,000 MSP, and so what I can have now them do is we'll begin an overhaul for all these guys. I mean, I don't even think that matters, to be honest. We don't even need to do that. We'll rename this to Arrakis Fighter Defenses. And we will put that into the Colonial Defense Command. So Arrakis now has fighters that are providing immediate protection to the colony. Luthien will also need that once we have enough infrastructure moved over. But we will see, obviously. Discover the new jump point in Nerox. Let's head over to Nerox. So let us begin surveying. Do we want to go into... We're not going to send the stabilization vessel to stabilize to Meridian yet, and I don't think for any other system, just for now. Unless there's a really good system. We'll focus on exploiting the current systems and continue our expansion. So Great White, let's have you finish up there, and let's begin exploration into this system. We've completed position to a refueling hub. Fantastic news. We have a really good logistics scientist, so we'll put 5 more labs into you, and we'll go for sector commands, because those provide big bonuses. And we'll just add those labs accordingly. This is a very big system. Oh my god, this is a 60 billion kilometer diameter system. We have 2 binary... It's a quaternary system. Okay, this is pretty rare. Let me grab my name list. So, we will call this system... Talos. We'll call this the system of Talos. So, let's have a look. Where are my stars? So, we have... all the way in. So, we have star number 1. And it's actually a pretty small system here. The actual distance is far from the jump point, though. So, we have this star is orbiting this star, okay? And we have... on the first star, we just have a super Jovian. On the second star, we have a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere world with a good potential, a gas giant, and a terrestrial. So what we can probably do is we can set up a Lagrange point between these two, but the problem is the distance from the actual jump point itself. That is very promising, though, that is there. Terrestrial world 2.0. This world, 10 billion people, very promising. Talos C is a gas giant, and then Talos D is nothing. And those 2 stars orbit all the way out here, a good 60 billion kilometers away. We could obviously stabilize a Lagrange point, probably, on one of these, and then access these worlds, which is probably what I will do. So Talos C1, that's a gas giant. But honestly, it's not too important for me to stabilize these. Either way, definitely promising, and we're going to see where is Talos in relation to things. Talos is next to Nerox, so what we'll do is I'm going to head over to Nerox. I'm going to tell my jump stabilization group to hold off for now because there might be aliens. And if there are aliens, I'm not stabilizing that jump point. So we're going to head over to Talos. And we're going to look and see if we can see anything. Research lab Just assign new there. See if we actually detect anything coming in. Okay, so we're currently 300 million kilometers away. Okay, I want to focus you, because the problem is Talos B3. So this is Talos C1. So this is Talos C, this is Talos A. Where the hell is Talos B? Talos B is all the way over here. Okay, so we are going to need a Lagrange point. That is very interesting. Okay, we'll begin stabilization efforts then. Stabilization group 1. Begin stabilization efforts onto that jump point. And we will... You should have the range. Talos 1. 56 billion kilometers. We'll need a tanker. We'll need a tanker, but we can do it. And then we can stabilize a Lagrange point over on Talos. Over here. And then that allows us to move in between these two using this Lagrange point accordingly. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, no, we'll just... very interesting system, this. Okay, let me have a look back at our colonies. So, Luthian's doing okay. Kareem is doing okay with its maintenance supplies. Arrakis is growing, and it has cargo shuttle station, refueling station, maintenance facilities. A lot of fuel on the planet, and all of that good stuff. And we are continuing to expand outwards. Also, our civilian mining corporations are really, really going well. Let's begin moving all these resources over to Earth, though, please. What is our supply transport doing, by the way? Your movement orders, refuel, resupply. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine by me. Very interesting layout so far. So we currently have gone into 7 systems. So we are getting close to where raiders will start to spawn, obviously. Supply transport 1 finished up orders. And we're going to begin moving low gravity infrastructure, obviously, as well. Arrakis has 162 infrastructure on it. You have infrastructure support population. You have 163 infrastructure. Luthian has 0.27, and I'm going to also put this to a military restricted colony. And if we have a look at Arrakis, you're doing fine. Luthian has enough for way more people, and that's what we want to see. And also trade is going very well for us at the moment. If we actually have a look at our wealth and trade situation, we make a lot of income from worker taxes, but also from shipping trade goods all around. Yeah, let's just continue our exploration. How is our shipyard growth happening, by the way? Well, we're nearly halfway there to be able to actually build some more survey vessels, which we'll need. Kareem Outpost, mineral shortages. Going through those resources real quick on those. Let's just stop that for now. And we'll just stop producing those accordingly. And I'm going to tell my mineral transport group to just stop. And we're going to have the supply transport head over to Alpha 1 and then transfer those supplies over and then head back to Sol and then refuel. We do need to send some forces over to Arrakis. I'm considering we might want to send an entire division. And because of our expansions, I'm going to order up construction of another regiment. So we're going to order up 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 4 infantry battalions. I want 1 mechanized, and then 1 regimental, and only 1, 2, 3. No. 3, and we will do 1 regimental, 1 mechanized, and I'm going to then order our troop transports to begin moving. Where is our troop transports? Naval logistics, troop transport fleet. We will begin loading up we'll send the 4th infantry regiment. If you guys have got recommendations, by the way, for names for the regiments, like if you want to give them like titles or names or whatever, let me know, because I'm totally up for doing that. We're going to move those over to Arrakis. We're going to unload. We'll send more. Once a population is 10 million, we'll say that's worth it, like as the capital for a division to be sent. We'd obviously need a lot more than that. Oh yeah, we need to be very careful about this, because if we don't, we won't load the entire regiment. So 4th, and then we're going to send you over to Zitomir. We're going to have you unload the ground forces, and then we're going to have you head to Sol. refuel. Okay, that's good. I'm also then going to get these ahabs moved as well, so we'll attach those, and I'm going to have our tugs. Well, you're orbiting Arrakis, so I'll need you to head back to Sol and join up with the tug group. Once you've done that, we'll continue. Okay, transport's continuing. The game has slowed down quite a bit, but I think that's because I have some windows open. All right. Where are all our survey vessels right now? You are in Meridian. You're in Meridian. You are in Talos. You are in Nerox. Okay. Let's have a look at Nerox right now. Actually. Okay, you've joined the tug group, which is good. So what we're gonna have you do is we're gonna have you go over to the Ahabs, which is what they should be in, if I am not incorrect here. Shipyard fleet. Oh, shipyard fleet 2, my bad. Tractor you, and then tractor you. And we're going to take you over to Alpha. And which of the bodies did Alpha have specifically that was of interest? So Alpha, it was the 5th gas giant that had 12 million tons of thorium on it. And that was on this body here. So that is what we will do. So we will tug you over to Alpha 5, we will release, and then we will head back to Sol and we will refuel. And that will begin our extra fuel harvesting situation. Supply Transport 1 completed orders, so that now means that Cream is completely supported. We have 200,000 available workers, and once that hits 250,000, we will move over 5 maintenance facilities. We have a ton of infrastructure currently on world that we need to move. How are we moving that stuff, by the way? Infrastructure fleet. You have orders, you are moving that as well. Freighters, you are also moving infrastructure accordingly. We're moving a lot of stuff right now. There's a lot of things happening. All right, we are now beginning harvesting. So I'm going to rename this to the Alpha 5 fuel harvesters. And I'm going to move that up into our logistics. Oh, no, you can stay here. What I will do, however, is I'm going to make an industrial command. And I'm going to create this command. I'm going to call this fuel harvesters. And as part of that, I'm going to acquire a production guy. Yeah, 30% production. We're going to put both of our fuel harvesters into that. And so that now means that we're generating 7.2 million liters and 3.8 million liters there. I'm going to have our tankers. So we have 2 tankers here, obviously. We should have some more tankers available in reserve. Yeah, we do. So I'm going to detach you. And I'm going to have you come under the fuel harvesters. And we're going to bring these guys under the fuel harvesters. So fuel harvesters here. And we're going to have this fuel half fleet. So we're going to have tanker fleet 1 or 2. You are going to go to Alpha. And you're going to go to Alpha 5 accordingly. And I'll give you new orders once you get there. Total completed orders. So tanker fleet moving over. There we go. And we're going to have them begin the harvesting. So they're going to every fuel harvesters every year. So 1, 2, 3. So every year they are going to transfer fuel to not this colony but to Zitomir. Do we want to do Zitomir? Yeah, we'll do Zitomir for now. We'll have them transfer fuel to that colony. The other fleet, because we have another fuel transport group, nah, we'll keep having that fuel over to Arrakis. That's fine. Because we have these guys that are doing this every 2 years. Instead, what we'll have, we'll transport this fuel. Fuel stationary tanker, standard transit. What I need is not to move that fuel over. What I need to have happen is, and we have actually have this capacity available. We're going to build another 2,000 infrastructure. We need to get a refueling station. So what I am going to do is I'm going to trust the series. We're going to do refueling station, add supply. I'm going to have that over onto Kareem. We're going to demand a refueling station. And once they have one, we'll move that fuel over accordingly. Okay. To join command the logistics commands, we need to actually change that over. So logistics command, we were going to go for logistics. There we go. My guys got 50% bonus. That's pretty insane. Have 11 finished up. And we're just waiting for this transport to happen. We should have now just had those ground forces finish off on the deployment on Arrakis now. Obviously, the Luthien will need one as well, and we're also going to put up a demand for 5 maintenance facilities, and Earth will supply another 5, and I'm going to need to get we need more freighters. The facts are we just need more freighters, and we're not using our shipbuilding capacity that much, to be honest. So I'm going to have over here, we're going to begin construction of 3 more freighters to be built. So 1, 2, 3. But we have to get that stuff moved over to Luthien. Arrakis now hits 1 million population, which is fantastic news for Arrakis. But what I was trying to say is we should move over another set of forces as well. So let me go over to my naval logistics tab, so troop transport. We're going to begin. We will load up the 3rd Infantry Regiment, and we will take that over to Nerox. We will take that over to Luthien, and we will unload that there as well. And then we'll head back to Sol, and we will refuel. We should have a replacement ground force regiment coming up here by the 15th. We may need to expand our ground force training capabilities to be able to actually protect all these worlds, as it's going to be pretty heavy in terms of our requirements here. Okay, let me have a look over on Telos. What are we doing? We're doing gravitational survey points. What's the minerals like over here? Sorium, that kind of stuff. Meridian, how is Meridian looking? A bunch of different resources. We're currently doing gravitational surveys to find jump points in this system. And yeah, just continuing on with our increments. And though is the ground force is trained up, so that's 3 battalions trained. And again, we'll just be incrementing. I'll probably be cutting out quite a bit of this. Our jump stabilization group did just finish, however. So we will begin stabilizing on the other end. So stabilize. So we'll be able to get actually into Talos and continue our stabilization efforts here. Oh, we found a jump point in Talos. Let us send the Great White through there. I know it's a bit risky, but I do want to continue our exploration efforts up to the line of raiders spawning. Okay, we've discovered oh my god, it's massive. System of 596. It is a binary star system. Okay, there's probably aliens. Ask and you shall receive, ladies and gentlemen. So we will first name this system. This is an important system. It is big. It is powerful. Let me grab up my name list. We're going to do rename system. And we are going to name this system Minerva. That is the system name we're going to call for it. In the first system. So how close is this? So this is actually here, okay? So this is actually here on this star system. So 6 billion kilometers away. We have a Rift Valley's nitrogen carbon dioxide atmosphere world. Pretty inhospitable. We then have a forest mountain with nitrogen oxygen. There is, in terms of our breathability, there is too much oxygen for this to be breathable, and there's also sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere. Actually might be unlikely there's aliens here, because sulfur dioxide is very not cognizant for aliens. It's a dangerous atmosphere type, so we might not have an NPR. Either way, that is very, very valuable. A forest mountain world next to a Rift Valley world. Speaking of that Rift Valley world, both of these have a temperature within human habitability ranges. And they are both, we just have to essentially terraform both of these worlds, and we get a lot here. On the second star, just the gas giants. Yeah, 3 gas giants in the terrestrial world. Nothing too valuable. Obviously, the issue coming that this is 300 billion kilometers away. No one will ever reach that point. Actually, it's a Lagrange point over there. These are big? Will these be big enough for stabilization? That's 21. That's a super Earth right there. I know someone requested a super Earth name, by the way. Someone requested Terra Nova. Well, it might not be Terra Nova. We're not going to call it Terra Nova yet until we actually see what's there. So we're going to head in that direction, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see if we see anything from this distance. Continuing up our training efforts. Okay, so we are within Minerva 2. Okay, what's the distance from Minerva 3? Minerva 3, 1.2 billion kilometers. Great White, we're going to have you halt. We're going to use one of our F2s as a scouting strike group. So I'm going to detach the F2 under the command of no one, apparently. So the 150th Fighter F2-137. We're going to have you head over to Minerva 3, move there accordingly with active sensors on. That'll take you 36 hours to reach accordingly. Actually, you're not going to be able to reach that, are you? Yeah, you're not going to be able to reach that, so we'll have to get much closer. Move to location. 2 minutes. There we go. And then we'll just grab you back into the strike group. Head towards the 2nd or the 3rd planet, please. Our... Okay, distance from target is 310 million kilometers. Okay, we will halt there. And I will order the fighter to then detach, and we will then move over. Actives are on. We're going to move over to Minerva A3. That'll take you 5 hours. Okay, let's bring our active sensors on, please. There we go. Okay. So we have a range of 1.3 million kilometers, so we should be able to see anything that does appear unless it's missiles. So we will take 26 minutes to reach target. No detections. No detections. Okay. Terra Nova it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's got 2 moons as well. And that is New Earth right there, baby. We just need to actually terraform that. We need to get rid of the sulfur dioxide, and we need to get rid of... Yeah, we just need to get rid of sulfur dioxide and bring the oxygen levels down. But that is a completely habitable planet, and it's a super Earth as well. Alright, we're going to have you then join up with you. You are going to land and join the strike group. And we're going to have the Great White begin survey efforts. We have found Terra Nova. Oh, and they've got to immediately go back and refuel. As is typical. Okay, 3 freighters just finished up, and they've been assigned. So I'm going to have them detach. So we're going to detach those, and we're going to move them over to our logistics. And yeah, I think that's where I'll leave the episode off. Oh, that notification just came up there. That was about September's back. I will see you guys next time. We have found Terra Nova in the system of Minerva. 27 billion kilometers away from Earth, through Arrakis, through Nerox and Luthien, through Talos and Minerva. A lot of interesting systems, a quaternary system discovered, and a lot more to see. I'll see you guys next time. Please like and subscribe. It really does help me out. And yeah, goodbye.